Hello and welcome back to Boxing Social in association with Betfred. My name is Ayman Khan, and the dust is starting to settle on a rivalry that ended in emphatic fashion last night as Kell Brook beat his long-standing rival Amir Khan. With me to talk through the action is the one and only, the untouchable Kash Farooq. Kash, first of all, how's life treating you?
Yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying life. Yeah, I'm just
You just broke up a little bit there, Kash. What did you say?
sorry. I've just been just taking over doing wee bits and bobs, and just kept myself just in shape. After obviously of a colder day.
Just quickly, Kash, how's things going at St Andrew's Sporting Club? Have you started? Have you got into the role now?
Yeah, I'm just helping you and bringing fires and just I'm gonna obviously play a role in helping to help fires as well. I'm hoping to get my license the next few weeks, so that's what I'm gonna be doing as well. So that's the next few steps I'm gonna be moving towards. Just to keep myself involved in boxing. That's my next goal.
Keeping you involved in boxing, getting your opinions on some of the biggest fights, which is what we're doing right now. Let's rewind, Cash, quickly. Before the fight, before we saw the two fighters step through the ropes, what were your feelings about how the fight was going to go? Who were you picking to win the grudge match?
To be honest, I was on the fence. One week I was like, I'll get Kell Brook will do this. The other week I was like, Amir Khan will probably box and win in points. But last night, I wasn't as shocked. But I thought Amir Khan maybe had something left, but it never looked the same fight he looked a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, with that, like you were saying there, like you weren't shocked, but there was that kind of feeling about kind of, oh, well, I guess how it kind of unfurled and Kell's kind of dominance. Talk me through what you saw when the first bell kind of rang and how it kind of all unfolded.
Well, straight away I can tell the size difference was, it was you can tell Kell Brook like 2 weights above Amir Khan straight away, and obviously Kell's strength, power, everything, it looked, it was just he had more in the gas tank than Amir Khan did, and looked he wanted to push for a stoppage as well. And to be honest, that's how the first round didn't start too well, and I think but Khan did come back in the second round. But see, after that, it was just every end of the round, Khan kept getting hurt, and Kell Brook, it was just a matter of time before Kell Brook, got him out.
Did you see bits of success for Amir in there? I mean, we've seen some of the stuff in the ring, I think, from Amir. Like the speed was there, lesser to how it had been in the past when he's from like a prime Amir Khan, but the speed was still causing a few problems for Kell. I think Kell's eye was hurt a bit as well. Might have been from a head clash, or it could have been from the punches that Amir was throwing. But did you see bits of success that Amir was getting at all in the ring?
Yeah, I think he was, he was having success, but it just looked like nothing was bothering Kell. Like Kell kept on coming forward, and it's just nothing was budging Kell. And I don't know whether it was a size difference. Well, Kell looked massive on the night, and his power was a big difference as well. And every time obviously Kell landed the clean punch, he kept it on Khan, and that made a big difference in the fight. And yeah, and Kell always finished strong every round. So and obviously apart from the second, but apart from the other rounds, he kept finishing strong, and and he looked good. He looked not gas time, but he had a bit more. Than Khan and Khan did. Because I thought going to the fight, I don't know who's got what left, and obviously showed Brook had a wee bit left
Did
compared
you
to
think?
Khan.
Did you think Amir could have done anything differently at all going into that fight?
No, to be honest, I thought he'd have had the right tactics. Yeah, I think you would have had to box against Brook, and weather the storm the first few rounds. But just Brook just had the right tactics on the night, and the best man won.
Kell, coming into this one, obviously high emotions, and he'd promised, the fight would be finished either Amir Khan on his back or on his face. So essentially, coming into that fight, he wanted to get that knockout, that kind of, the picturesque, the highlight reel knockout. He couldn't get it. He got the stoppage in the end. That, I suppose, in a sense, kind of shows something that we've seen throughout Khan's career, which is the kind of heart that he has, the big heart as well. Even there at times when he shouldn't be taking punches, he'll happily glove up and kind of take the shots and kind of show his heart there. But do you think Kell might be just a slight bit disappointed that he couldn't get that kind of the knockout that he dreamed of there?
No, I think he won. At the end of the day, but the win's a win. And that's what matters. And Khan showed a lot of heart in the fight, staying up in his feet. Because some shots were knocked anybody out, and Khan stood in, obviously Khan stood in and go down, and he just stayed on his feet and he took some of the heavy shots, but just showed how much a big heart Khan's got, and he was hurt on a number of occasions, and he just kept on coming back, and and keep right now. But it was overall, Kell just looked just a better banner on the night, and over I said depends whether what he's gonna do now, Brook or Khan, but I would think both would want to call that a day now, what I mean, because they're not young anymore in their past. I would say both of them are past their prime. They're not the best, what I mean, what they were a couple of years ago, and they made a few quid in this fight, and you would think they would call that a day now.
Just before we get to kind of what's next for them, I know you touched on that there, but correct stoppage. I see some people online kind of saying that, with Khan and the guts he's shown in previous fights, like Maidana, where he'd been hurt, he'd kind of been allowed to continue there, and he got the victory there. Was it the correct stoppage for you at that time?
Yeah, it was it was a correct stoppage, to be honest. I think Khan didn't have his legs under him since, obviously, I think the first or second, it was the second or third round, and third round, sorry. He just never had his legs under him, and listen, last thing you want is someone bruising and knocked out, and I think the ref made the right decision, just stopping it for anything happens.
Last thing you want is seeing that as well, someone getting hurt, but it was also
And
good to
obviously, you don't want the fight. Obviously, just take punishment for the next 12
Mm.
rounds. Well, it was next. I think it was stopped in the fifth round. Yeah, fifth round.
Sixth round.
Sorry, sixth round, and you don't want him again taking whether he was gonna last 12 rounds. You don't want him taking a being for 12 rounds in this thing. I mean, that can do more damage than get knocked out. So it's probably the best thing that's probably done.
Last thing people wanted to see as well was maybe them not kind of bearing the hatchet, but it was great to see both men kind of go over to each other, have a chat, embrace, and apparently they might be going for coffee as well, which is good to hear, I suppose. But bearing that rivalry now.
Yeah, I think that's put to bed. I mean, between them two, obviously, the last 7-8 years, and and even though they're not the best, but that's said done. The fights, I mean, that's the fight done now, and we know who's won, and but it was a great fight, to be honest. It was a great fight. It was worth the wait.
Yeah, I suppose so. It was great seeing those two finally kind of get that. We don't sometimes rivalries pass us by, don't they, Cash? And we don't get to see two fights. So
no, I know, and but you know what? I was, to be honest, 2 years later, I still would have watched it. Even if it's a rematch, I'll still watch it. It's a fight that's, it was a fight that got me eye into a glow. And it turned out to be a great fight. It wasn't a boring fight. It was a great fight, and you can tell how much. I think this fight was personal for both of them. They were just wanted to win. Put everything aside. They just both wanted to just win. You know what I mean? And I think it would have really, obviously, I think it would have hurt really the loser. You know what I mean? So but Kell Brook came on top.
You talked about just a few questions ago about what's next for both fighters, but Amir potentially, he's had offers over in the Middle East area, fighting kind of with respect to opponents, kind of easier opponents where you can make quite a bit of money. So that's always on the table. Kell, obviously, Eubank Jr. called him out. Conor Ben wants him too. But you're mentioning kind of both of them maybe hanging the gloves up there. But there are kind of paths on the table for both of them potentially, Cash.
Yeah, but to be honest, they've done everything. Became world champions. Khan's achieved a lot. I mean, he's became Olympic champion. He's made a lot of money through boxing. I mean, it's whether he's get up in the morning, run, do training camps, get away from the family, even broke. I mean, whether he has motivation. I think this fight was more to motivation. Both were up for the fight. Even Khan and Brook. And whether who they box next, whether we're gonna have it, I know put money aside. It's whether they're gonna have the motivation to get up in the morning and run, do all these type of things, and it is difficult. But this fight, they were up for it. I mean, no one wanted to lose the fight, and this one made the difference. So, but I'm honest opinion, I think both of them should score that day. I mean, they've achieved great. I mean, they both of them became world champions. They probably made a lot of money, and especially in that fight there. And I mean, you can just enjoy your retirement now.
Cash, do you fight? I know, obviously, you retired and for medical reasons and stuff. But do nights like this like kind of make it hard for you, kind of watching it at all? Because it's a big occasion, and obviously you being an exciting fighter, wanting to be in there, getting excited with those fights. Is it hard to watch sometimes those big occasions?
Yeah, it is. I mean, but I'm a boxing fan anyway. I enjoy watching these type of fights, just sitting back and watching them. But yeah, it is but it's just yeah, it's just part of life, but I like just sitting back and watching now and observing, and giving my opinion.
A word on Khan, because obviously you and I will have both been touched by Khan in a way, in the point that we're even talking to each other, because we will have watched Khan growing up. You went into the boxing side of it, me into the interviewing side of it. But in terms of kind of how Khan has kind of pushed, promoted, and kind of set the path for British Asians to kind of make their way through into the boxing side of it, just a word on kind of watching him growing up, I suppose, Cash.
I think the first fight I watched with him was, I think it was Madana. I think it was a Madana. I think his first fight I watched was a Demetrius. It's one of the ones I watched his first fight, and and that was he was. I think that's when he was on his rise, and that's when he was performing his best at light welterweight. And obviously just he's done great for obviously appreciation boxing and won the Olympic medal, and he's achieved a lot. And he can be proud of what he's done. He can, whether whether he continues on and hangs the gloves up, but he's done great in boxing, and he's achieved a lot.
Cash, let's leave it there. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. Of course, we'll catch up soon, and yeah, it's been all the best with your venture at the St Andrews Sporting Club. Anything you want to say finally on the fight or the venture going on with St Andrews Sporting Club?
No, I was just, I'm looking forward to the next part of my life, and it's quite exciting for me. Obviously, I know you still miss fighting. You wish you can still do it, but yes, I'm looking forward to the next part of my life, and whether what I do, whether it's train a fight or other stuff with St Andrews Sporting Club. So I'm looking forward to it.
Cash, thank you so much for speaking to me in Boxing Social. We'll speak soon.